Hello and welcome to another episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club, an ongoing video series where I take a look at something from the world of anime that I want to chat with you about. It could be a deep dive into a particular subgenre, a look at the upcoming season or the previous season, just whatever I really want to chat with you about. I've been doing now over 100 of these, well over 100 of these, and a thing I started doing a couple years ago was taking a look at the year that was and giving out some awards for myself. Because, Crunchyroll does their anime awards, which they're doing later in 2025 than previous years. So it'll be a while before I actually talk about those on one of these videos. But I was thinking like, hey, you know what? Why don't I do my own award show? And I'll give out awards for the categories that are important to me. Sometimes it'll be celebrating, and sometimes it will be the opposite of celebrating. Another excuse for me to be mad at something. So please enjoy my 2024 Anime Awards. Got a bunch of categories here. We got a new category this year, return of a previous category that I'm excited about. And we'll get into the first one right now, which is Best Initial D Reference. So anytime there is an anime that has Initial D reference in it, I like to celebrate that. I love Initial D. It's it's a seminal work of animation. Now, I should say clearly state that I am not talking about MF Ghost, which had a second season this year. That doesn't count as Initial D reference. That's separate. That's its own thing that I don't particularly enjoy. I'm talking about a reference to Initial D. It could be a chase scene, or you could have a certain car in the background, or just like I'm driving and suddenly Eurobeat plays and we're on a mountain road. And I'm like, hell yeah, we're doing it. And in this case, I'm bending my own rules. Now, I've never said that my anime awards had to only celebrate anime. And I've never said that Best Initial D reference is Best Initial D reference in an anime. Could be a manga, could be a visual novel, or in this case, it could be a VTuber. That's right, Iris wins for her song and music video, Carbonated Love. I'm giving an award to a VTuber. It's my first ever VTuber award presentation. I am not asking you to clip this and send it to Iris. I am not asking you to tell Iris that I did this. She does not need to know who I am. I subscribe and I am a fan, but she does not need to know that I am giving her an award. The fact that she made this song is in itself its own reward. If you're unaware, Iris is a VTuber from Hololive. And a few years ago, she was talking with her chat about upcoming songs that she was working on. And someone had said something about doing a Eurobeat song. And she was like, oh, I'd love to do that. But I wouldn't want to sing about, I don't know what I would sing about. It wouldn't be a love song. It would be like about soda, like Carbonated Love. And it kind of became like a little reference here and there. People would bring it up now and again. And then in 2024, she released a song and a music video for Carbonated Love. And it's got the two-tone. You can see it right there. The 86 is right there. There's a bunch of cars there from Initial D. It is legitimately a great Eurobeat song about soda, and the lyrics make, I'd say, even more sense than most Eurobeat, with it that she's a native English speaker, whereas a lot of the best-known artists there, English was their second language at best. And it's really fun. It's a fun song. It is part of the reason why I got more and more into VTubers in 2024. And this is a weird category for me here, but I was like, well, the Best Initial D reference in 2024 is Iris. So Iris, and thank you for making this great song. Let's get into now, from this point on, they're all anime. Actually, anime are winning the categories. Like, most obviously adapted from a light novel. This should be pretty self-explanatory. The winner of this category, if you look at it, not only do you look at it and go, that's definitely from a light novel. That title of this anime is definitely based on a light novel. You also go, it's so goddamn based on it. And what does that mean? It just means you look at it and go, okay, I know the plot. I know what the main character is like. I should know the genre. Maybe you also know the subgenre, if it is an isekai or not, or a fantasy show, that kind of stuff. You're going to get a lot of information from the title. It's basically a compound sentence, and you look at it and go, okay, I now know the plot. As we said before, that's because you are digitally or in person looking at the spines of books, and they want you to draw your eye to it and grab it. So here is our winner. The Strongest Tanks Labyrinth Raids. A tank with rare 9,999 resistance skill got kicked from the hero's party. Tells you everything you need to know. It is the most. It has tank in it twice. It is giving you a plot synopsis, so you know where to stand. You're like, oh, this is rare. Oh, it's this kind of thing. We're ahead of him. We understand there's a hero's party involved. It's part of the kicked, banished subgenre. Great. Know where we're getting with that. Excellent. Now, I did include some runners-up because there are other ones that are very much clearly from light novels, and I'll read them now. I have them written down, and here we go. Seventh Time Loop. The villainess enjoys a carefree life married to her worst enemy. I was reincarnated as the Seventh Prince, so I can take my time perfecting my magical ability. The Osan newbie adventurer, trained to death by the most powerful party, became invincible. Sentences letting you know what's going on. We've got one that tells us, oh, this is a reincarnation story. One that we know is a time adventure, so it's not reincarnation, but it's just a time loop story. And then one that is just like, this is another action series. Okay, great. Letting you know what's going on, showing you what's up with these stories. But to me anyway, they are not as most obvious as The Strongest Tanks Labyrinth Raids. A tank with a rare 9,900 resistance skill got kicked from the hero's party. That's just so much the most. Well, let's talk positivity. Let's talk some positivity here in our next category. Biggest personal surprise. And this one just for me is, okay, like, all of these are subjective. All these are my own opinions anyway. I could have just called this biggest surprise, but I say personal because I feel like some of y'all who are watching this are going to see the winner and go, but that's a great manga and it's a great anime. Like, why are you surprised by that? So, because it is very personal. Whereas some of these other categories, you may go like, oh, I didn't even think about that, or oh, I didn't even know about that show, or something like that. Let's just say I'm talking about Kaiju number 8. Yeah, excellent manga. People are really psyched about it. This is a highly anticipated anime. First season is excellent. I never connected with the manga. I have tried several times to get into it. It just never grabbed me. And usually when that happens, I don't like the anime, right? Because seeing them move around, hearing their voices, seeing the kaiju, and looking at the art style in motion shouldn't be like the tipping point where if the manga didn't resonate with me, right? But in this case, it did. It's the sum of all the parts. I love the main character. I think him having a voice does make him seem as old as he is, where I think the manga sometimes doesn't paint him as a guy who's trying and is kind of older than some of the people that he's with, which for a shonen is nice to see. And I think the anime does a good job of that, whereas the manga maybe doesn't, in my opinion, personal opinion, again. So I was really surprised. I wouldn't say I was surprised with Kaiju number 8. I'm surprised how much I liked Kaiju number 8, which, people were psyched about. So I guess that's where I'm coming from with this particular category. Best remake. Remakes are definitely popular, popping off. In some instances, it's stuff that wasn't like, Fruits Basket, which never got finished, and so the adaptation left something to be desired originally. All the way to like shows that I think don't need at all. And I'm like, why are you remaking Shaman King? Like, what? Why? Why would we do that? You're going to remake One Piece at some point? Like, okay, I guess. I mean, there's a lot of One Piece, so I guess that makes some sense to do that. Sure. In this instance, I'm just kind of happy it exists. It's Ranma 1/2. I'm just psyched there's new Ranma 1/2. And at this point in the season, we haven't even introduced, at time of this recording, we haven't even introduced Shampoo, my favorite character. I love Shampoo. I'm excited to see how she ends up in this adaptation, because they have tweaked some stuff. They've pulled some stuff back. There's a lot. The fan service is still there, but it's certainly subdued. And I don't think that's a problem in 2024. This is still a romantic comedy action anime, and it's still really good. It looks gorgeous. Everyone's giving it their all. I think the writing is sharp. I talked about this previously, how they remade Orphan, and it feels like they remade an anime from the 90s. And, like, the writing feels very 90s in that one, and I'm like, ugh. Whereas this still feels pretty modern. You're not seeing, like, you know, we don't have a lot of romantic comedy shows that are also so heavy on action. That's kind of gone by the wayside, but it doesn't feel out of place is what I'm trying to get at. I'm still really invested in more and more, and I can't wait for the next episode because I really, really like it. So yeah, to me, this is the best remake, hands down. Let's get into two categories that are negative. Let's talk about biggest disappointment. Oh boy. So this is, in my opinion, this is objective is what I was going to say there. But I'm trying to come at this from across the media landscape of certainly, obviously, with a tint towards the American audience, which is I'm a part of. But worldwide, this anime really disappointed people, and I have to mention it. It's not even a genre I'm particularly thrilled with, but it's such an important adaptation that took such a long time, that seemed to go dormant, that had so many questions, and then it finally came out, and the first episode was so good. And then there were 3 more episodes. I'm talking about Uzumaki. Uzumaki is a fucking bummer. It is a huge disappointment. Now, of course, you may say to yourself, Pat, how could it have been good? They were only going to do 4 episodes. It was going to be, you know, the Adult Swim team working with Japan. Like, it went dormant for so long. How could this... Nobody's really done a good adaptation of Ito's work. Like, how could it have possibly been good? And to which I reply to you with another question. Did you see the first episode? Because it kicks ass. Now, there are problems with the first episode in pacing. And even if the animation, which fell off a cliff, had maintained the pace of the first one, or the standards of the first one, it still would be a messy show. I'm not saying it wouldn't be messy at episodes 2, 3, and 4 if they looked like 1, because they're condensing a lot and they're making odd choices here and there about what they condense and what they do with it. But if the animation had kept up with the first episode, people would have overlooked it. They would have said, oh, well, the vibe's right. The style is right. The feeling is right. What I feel from it is right. Yeah, it's messy. Yeah, I wish it was 8 episodes instead of 4. Yeah, I wish they had slowed the pacing down here or there, or just cut out a couple characters that definitely didn't need to be in there, because when you're cutting so much out of it, you might as well just cut the whole thing. Sure, there would have been legitimate, in my opinion anyway, grievances with it. But it would have gotten by on vibes. It would have gotten by on the feeling. It would have been one of those things where we were like, this could have been amazing, but it's still really good. And instead, what you have is, well, the first episode is awesome. It's got its problems, but it looks great. And then there's more. And it's the biggest disappointment of 2024. Now, there's another thing that I need to mention, and that's personal, because this might not be on your list of biggest disappointments. It's probably not as big a disappointment as Uzumaki, which was going to reach way more people. And for some people who are just watching Adult Swim or Max, that might be their anime, their introduction to Jujutsu. So it might be even more disappointing. But for me, I need to vent about this. So my biggest disappointment, personal, is, of course, Laid Back Camp Season 3. Laid Back Camp Season 3 bums me out. It's a different studio, different team worked on this, different production. They went with real world backgrounds that they, put through some applications to make look like they were drawn or, digitally drawn, and then insert the character models into those scenes, at which time some of those characters don't seem to have any weight to them, they seem like they're floating in air, they're not really part of the scene. There is limited movement in some of the characters in some of the scenes, where even sometimes the lips don't move as much as you would like. It's just altogether a cheap production for one of my favorite anime of all time. And it's a real bummer. Personally, a huge bummer. It should have been biggest bummer instead of disappointment. But I'm disappointed. If seasons 1 and 2 didn't exist as they do, if the entire series had been like season 3, it might not be that big of a disappointment, right? It might just be, I like the manga and it's fun. It got animated and it's cute and whatever. But it just reads budget because the first 2 seasons and the movie and the side series and the OVAs all look really good. And then this doesn't. It's personally really disappointing. I'm so sad that Laid Back Camp looks the way it does. It might not negatively affect you. You might not even notice that, oh, hey, that is definitely a real train and a real train station that they've put in After Effects to make it look like it was animated, and the character isn't walking away from it. There's sound of the character walking away from the train, but the character actually didn't move, and you might not even notice that. But I noticed, and I hate it. We need to end this video on a positive note because I just did back-to-back disappointments. So let's talk about something positive. Let's talk about my anime of the year, which I will talk about at the end of my next video, because my next video will be Pat Bear's Anime Club episode 139, Top 10 2024. I did it again. I do it every year that I do these categories. I always tease that I'm going to just say what my anime of the year is. But no, you have to watch the video for that. I'm going to do a separate video. It'll come out on December 23rd. I should have included in that. But on December 23rd, I will be talking about my top 10. So my anime of the year all throughout. I did a video previously. You can find a link in the show description below with a link to my kind of like mid-year video. For the first time ever, I did here's what my top 10 is so far. So you can watch that again. Also, I have a link to Carbonated Love, the music video, in the show description below. And also, hey, while you're at it, do you have a winner in any of these categories? Was there an anime Initial D reference that I missed this year? Do you have a favorite clearly pulled from a light novel? What's your biggest personal surprise or your biggest disappointment personal? Is there another one I'm not thinking about that was such a disappointment that needs to be included in this list? Or are you come in here and you're like, no, Pat, Spice and Wolf is the best remake of 2024. What are you talking about? Let me know. I'd be happy to hear it. But that is my 2024 Anime Awards. You can, again, give your answers in the bottom. If you have ideas for future videos you'd like to see, I already know what my next 2 are. It's my top 10, as I said, and the one after that will be my fall wrap-up winter preview, which I'll be recording live on December 31st, and then it'll come out the following Tuesday, Monday. Yeah, that's right. I record on Tuesday, January 31st. We'll ring in the new year, December 31st. Goddamn. Sorry, I got to the end of the video, and I'm messing things up. Anyway, thanks so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments if you have ideas for future videos or thoughts on this video. Am I just wrong? Was it foolish of me to include a VTuber instead of an anime for Best Initial D reference? Or are you now jamming out to a great Eurobeat song and you're thanking me in the comments below? I appreciate you watching this video to the very end. How long we go? 20 minutes, 19 minutes probably. Thanks so much for watching it. And I'll see you on the next one for my top 10. Hooray! Goodbye.